octopus. Do you want to eat me, Lillie? Yes, I do.
In the past 5 years, I've made over 50, maybe even close to 100 carnivore recipes. I'm talking carnivore pizza, spaghetti, ice cream, tacos, pancakes, even sushi. I've cooked every egg dish under the sun, egg muffins, prosciutto egg cups, egg bone broth, egg pot stickers, even buns made entirely from eggs. I've turned ground beef into everything imaginable, from meat bars, meat balls, meat loaf, and meat skewers with butter drizzled on top. And my chicken recipes will make you cock-a-doodle-doo, okay? Popcorn chicken, chicken feet bone broth.
This is my first time with chicken feet, and let me tell you, ooh, you can see the toenails, you can see it all. Ugh.
Chicken tacos, chicken soup, all kinds of chicken concoctions. And of course, we could never forget about my sardine recipes. From sardine wraps, which are a 10 out of 10, trust me, sardine patty melts, and sardine pancakes. Yeah, don't ask about that one.
So Pricey Boy just walked in and he's like, what on earth are you making? Sardine pancakes, honey. I'm making sardine pancakes.
I've made pretty much every carnivore recipe you could think of, and the ones that you would never think of, and you probably should stay away from those ones.
That was gross. Not good. Ugh. I would not recommend making liver ice cream. It's gross. Super nasty. Ugh. I have this so much of this to eat.
But in today's video, I'm going to share the 3 that totally blew my mind, the ones that are game changers, the ones that you need to try. But first, if you're new to the channel, my name's Lillie. I'm a certified nutrition health coach, and on this channel, I share easy, nourishing recipes and talk about the power of eating real food, because let me tell you, real food can change your life. So don't be silly, subscribe to Lillie, and let's jump into it. To narrow it down to my top 3, I first made a gigantic list of all of the carnivore meals I've ever created. Now keep in mind, I love simplicity, and so if a recipe is easy to make, it already gets bonus points. And I also love affordability. But that said, before we get into the top 3, I've got to give 2 honorable mentions because they ain't cheap, but they are the most mouth-watering, delicious meals I've ever made. So even though they're kind of expensive and I wouldn't have them every single day, this is definitely something you'll want to make on a special occasion. Number 1, rack of lamb. Is anyone surprised I said that? Rack of lamb has been my favorite food ever since I was a little kid, and this is how we make it. Firstly, most of the time we get it from Costco. It's usually a 1.5 to 2 pound rack and costs $12.99 per pound. Then we just put the rack of lamb in either a cast iron pan or a baking tray, and we bake it in the oven at 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. Then we'll turn the oven up to the broil setting and broil for about 2 minutes. That's literally it. We don't put any seasoning on it. I mean, we will put salt on it after it's done cooking, but that's all it needs. It is the most perfect thing I've ever put in my mouth. It's so tender, so fatty, it falls off the bone. I could literally eat an entire rack in one sitting without even thinking twice about it. It just goes down so easily. I love rack of lamb. The second honorable mention is picanha, which honestly, I'm not super familiar with how to find it in the grocery stores. I've never found it in a grocery store near me. When we got it online. It was about $40 for a 3 to 5 pound cut. To make the picanha, we scored the meat, which is just a fancy chef way of saying we used a knife to cut the meat in a checkered pattern. Then we seasoned with garlic and baked it for an hour at 200 degrees Fahrenheit before greasing up our cast iron pan with beef tallow and searing all sides of the picanha for a couple of minutes to perfection.
It just tastes like straight fat. It's like a ribeye on steroids. Next level.
Now for the top 3 carnivore recipes that, everyone needs to make. You don't even have to be carnivore to love these meals. They are affordable, they are easy to make, and the first time I tried them, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Number 1, bacon wrapped chicken. One day I just simply wrapped bacon around my chicken breast, hoping it would turn out half decent. I baked it in the oven for 40 minutes at 425 degrees, and then it came out perfectly. It was the first time I made a meal where my husband was actually jealous watching me eat. I'll be honest, you guys, okay? In our marriage, I have made hundreds of recipes, and this man has only tried like 4 of the meals I've made because he's one of those, I just want my meat, you don't need to turn it into a sushi roll kind of guy. But then when he saw this bacon wrapped chicken, he was like, you're gonna need to make that for me, which that is saying something. This bacon wrapped chicken is that good, you need to try it. The second jaw-dropping recipe I've made is beef Jello. This is actually the most popular and loved recipe I've ever shared online, getting almost 1 million views between Instagram and YouTube. I took grass-fed beef gelatin powder using 1 tablespoon, poured in half a cup of cold water, and let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes to allow the gelatin to bloom. Then I poured in 1.5 cups of hot water with 6 grams of electrolyte powder. I used Element, and stirred it for 2 minutes. I then poured the mixture into a glass container and put it in the fridge for 3 hours. This whole tray is only 40 calories, so even if someone ate the entire tray, it's really like a guilt-free dessert option. But on top of that, it costs less than $2 to make this entire tray of Jello, so this is truly a healthy dessert option for kids or for people who are trying to lose weight. This is just making my night. I'm eating Jello, Bryce is playing Zelda, we're living our best life right now.
I am thoroughly convinced that this is like super good for you. Just for the feeling it gives you.
Like I said, to make this beef Jello recipe, I used Element electrolytes, and they've got a new flavor, lemonade salt. Perfect for the summertime, let me tell ya. Element is today's video sponsor, and electrolytes are so important for our heart and nerve function. So for people who struggle with heart palpitations, leg cramps, or muscle cramping as a whole, eye twitching, fatigue, migraines, low energy, then something like electrolytes can help. Element has the science-backed ratios of sodium, magnesium, and potassium, and these electrolytes taste really good, but they don't have any high fructose corn syrup, no artificial food dyes, no colors. So they're a really clean ingredient brand for electrolytes that also taste awesome. They've got a bunch of different flavors from chocolate salt, watermelon, citrus, orange, raspberry, all sorts of flavors. I've been using these electrolytes for several years and I couldn't recommend them enough. If you'd like to check out Element, there's a link in the description where you can get 8 free additional packets of all of Element's different flavors with any order, or you can get those 8 free packets by going to drinkelement.com/LillieKane. They also have a money back guarantee. So if you try it and you don't like it, you can get your money back, no questions asked. The final carnivore recipe that is dangerously delicious, which let me just say, when I shared with my husband, I was going to say that these were my top 3 recipes everyone needs to make. He was like, but those aren't really meals. And I was like, yes. But when I had these 3 recipes, I'm telling you, they were so memorable. They were so good. I would make these for my family. And so the final one is butter brittle, which I know might sound a little bit strange, but I'm telling you, it is crazy good. Take butter, put it in your pan, continue to stir and mix on low heat until the butter is nice and brown. Once the butter is browned, throw it in a container. This next step is optional, but highly recommended. Throw some bacon pieces on top, put it in the freezer for a couple of hours, and out comes this glorious, nutty, savory, salty, caramely, delicious thing. You would think it would taste like butter, but it comes out nutty, very caramely, kind of like peanut brittle. If you're looking to increase your fats, that's a good way to do it. And I also have a free protein cheat sheet that if you just go in the video description, you'll be able to access my free protein cheat sheet. I'll send it to you on Saturday via my newsletter. And if you missed my recent ground beef recipes video, check that video out right here. I'll also link it in the description. I hope you guys have a happy day. So it looks like we're making sardine pancakes. If this ends up coming out tasting good, you guys can just call me Chef Gordon Ramsay from now on.